So why have you got a golf club?
A golf club? I did. Oh, yes, so I have got a golf club. Now, that's interesting because I haven't got a golf club, so I can just purely tell everybody that this year was a breakthrough for me and I got to single figures in my golf. And so those who play golf, this year I became a 9 handicapper, and I make no apologies for making a big deal about that. But the reason for bringing it up isn't actually to inflate my ego. Well, it's not entirely to inflate my ego, and there's plenty of other people who've got a better handicap than me. What I wanted to do is use this as a really good example of how I got to this particular point, and it was very much largely, I would say, down to the help of a guy called Pete Bauer. Brilliant golf coach who took me in just, I suppose I got to a 9 handicapper in about 4 years. But he got me to a 13 handicap within the first year, and I want to just talk to you a little bit more about coaching. And then I want to talk to you about why this coaching worked for me and why it's relevant to anybody who's thinking about it. So the first thing I want to address is the elephant in the room, the word coaching. It's a horrible word, don't like it. There's lots of different words for it. I come across business coaches, life coaches, and I don't understand why there needs to be a breakdown, why we need to distinguish between them, because there's no way that a business coach, as you would call it, isn't going to be helping somebody with their life. And there's no way that a life coach working with any client who has anything to do with business, whether they're employed, own it, or what have you, isn't going to be able to help them. So why are we calling them different types of coaches? Also, why are we calling them coaches? Because actually, all they should be doing is helping. So if a business coach is coming in and showing you different ways of doing stuff, that's not a coach, that's a consultant. If someone is classing themselves as a business coach because they've had good experience in your field and you've brought them in to tell you all the things that they've done in their life, that's not a coach, that's a mentor. If someone's coming in to show you how to do specific things, maybe use systems in a different way, again, not a coach, they're training you. So there's also a lot of people who don't understand what coaching is, which I get, it's okay. And I always feel that drawing back to the sports analogy is the best way of doing it and sort of highlighting this point and highlighting what the coachee, in this case with the golf, me, also has to do. So I decided that I wanted to take up golf, and I won't bore you with the reasons why, but I've been doing it for just under 5 years now. But what I wanted to do is ensure that I gave myself the best chance, so I went and saw Pete. And the reason that I have got to a 9 handicapper is because he's a bloody good coach and I'm a very good student. And this is something that any coaching relationship needs. So why was Pete good? Well, Pete wasn't telling me what to do. He wasn't showing me how he did it and telling me that I need to do it this way. Pete would ask me questions, very simple but sometimes probing questions about what I wanted to achieve, where I wanted to get to, what parts of my game as we moved on were a struggle, why I wanted to do it, what was my rationale, where did I see myself getting to, how much time and effort was I prepared to put into it. And the result of that, we were able to work out gaps between coaching sessions and training and actions that I would take in between those sessions, and a way for Pete to review whether I'd actually bloody done them or not. Because the amount of times I've gone on the golf course, and it's the same for other environments, and have people who've complained about the standard of their golf or why they're at it or why it's not working. And then when I quiz them quickly, that's because they do absolutely nothing between golf games. So what do they expect? They're making no commitment to improve. And it's exactly the same with the kind of coaching that I do. If one of my clients, in fact, we've had instances where 1 or 2 clients haven't done the stuff that they needed to do and they're not clients of mine anymore. And Pete has a similar situation. And one of my best friend Eddie is one of those people. I sent my best friend Eddie to Pete, and he was the polar opposite of me. He was a dreadful student. He would not listen. He would not do the stuff in between the sessions. So between session and session, did he get any better? No. If anything, he got slightly worse. Was that Pete's fault? Absolutely not. 100% Eddie's fault, because he didn't do any of the things he needed to do. And in fact, he went and confused his mind with listening to other people on YouTube videos and things like that. So coaching is about help and help only. There are some specific techniques that we might bring into the mix, but we are not going to tell you what to do. And it's really important, but also to recognize that if you follow the instructions and commit to the agreements that you make, you will see the sorts of improvements that I have been lucky enough to see in my particular hobby and passion, golf. Now, there's a lot of people out there who'd like to be a 9 handicapper. There are a lot of people who can achieve it if they were willing to do the work in golf. And if you can do it in that, you can do it in absolutely anything you put your mind to. The issue is, you've got to do that. Put your mind to it.
I think what's interesting for me is that it sounds like perhaps the perception of coaching is that it's someone who's an expert telling someone what to do.
Yeah.
And from what you're saying there, it sounds more like it's about a collaboration, because it's both parties coming together to work on a set of goals. Would you say that's...
Absolutely. I mean, I'd go one step further and say that I don't think your coach should know anything about what you do. I have quite a lot of clients now in particular areas of fields, and I'm not bragging about having a lot of clients. I mean, what I'm trying to do is distinguish about the fact that they're all in different walks of life. I know nothing about the world they're in, but that's good, because I get to ask really, really stupid questions. And those really stupid questions every so often open up some ideas in people, because they're like, oh, I never thought about it like that, or I've never been asked it like that, or I've never understood until now what someone means when they ask such, and it gets them thinking in a way that they need to, gets them thinking in a healthy, helpful way. That's all coaching should be. Anything else you've begun to understand about coaching, it's not wrong, but it's not helpful. So therefore, is it useful? No. That person should be coming in, asking you questions that will help you change the way you're thinking. If anyone's telling you how to do stuff, then it might be helpful, but they're not coaching you. And how will you make it work without them?